amidst this kind of mixed signals and some rays of light, so to say, what are the stocks or what are the stories that experts are picking out? Mamta Verma joins us and she's been patiently hearing a conversation with Indranil from New Delhi. Mamta, hi, thanks for joining us. So take us through your assessment of what looks better than the rest right now.
Yeah, it's a very interesting piece of conversation with Indranil. And Minnie, if we were to just kind of dissect the data of GDP first and perhaps then look at more stock-specific opportunities. Now let's look at, the broad GDP estimates. Now, I was going through the report which came out from the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister, which got published last month. And they do have estimates of India's GDP growth rate for FY12 at 8.2%, which looks higher than the street estimates. But let's kind of look at the different segments. Now, if we look at the services, which accounts for nearly 60% of our GDP, and it employs almost over 25% of our workforce. Now, we still know that, services is expected to grow at least 9 to 10%, which is almost similar to last year's growth rate. So for 25% of our workforce, they would continue to see their incomes grow at similar rates as they saw in FY11. So to say, that part of the consumption story is intact. Now, coming to the next part, which is agriculture, which accounts for about 18% of the GDP and over 60% of the workforce engaged in the sector, either it could be directly or not, so to say, exclusively engaged. Again, over here, we are seeing very strong growth rates of last year. The sector grew 6.6, albeit on a low base. Even this year, the sector is expected to grow at 3%. So to say, again, more than 60% of our labor force, which is engaged in this sector, there is, so to say, no risk on their earnings and hence on their consumption patterns. And I think the tricky area is clearly the industry, which includes by and large your manufacturing, your mining, all the other activities where we are seeing some kind of slowdown. So the consumption story looks very strong. And we have already seen the consumption stocks reflect this kind of buoyancy in terms of the quarterly results that we've seen in terms of the stock price performance. And one particular pocket where we have a constructive view is the Indian two-wheeler space. We have a positive outlook on Hero MotoCorp. And we think that the company has a very strong market position supported by its brand franchise, supported by its distribution network. And we have a very favorable outlook on the stock. We have already